And so mine is the honor to bring you in the south, and in this case, in Ecuador. And unluckily, I'm not in Ecuador now, but luckily I'm in Bozen, but it's a long time that I don't go to Ecuador because of COVID, mainly. So we start this investigation from remote. Okay, usually we, as a research group, usually we work both on the field with field activities, participatory mapping, and so on, and combining so the remote sensing or GIS analysis. In this case, we started these research activities some times ago, so we have not. We start here, and so we start with remote sensing analysis. Why this research? It's an ongoing research, so today I will present only the first preliminary results, some preliminary results, because we use to think about Amazon as a green jungle, no? We used to think that people and the indigenous community live there in rural condition, okay? But the reality is that, and researchers since the 80s started to call the urbanization in the Amazon as a urban jungle, because most part of people and also indigenous start to live in cities, in urban areas, okay? And my first title of this presentation was different, was like, welcome to the urban jungle, but I prefer to switch with a more formal title. So this work also for northern Ecuadorian Amazon region, because there in the 70s of the past millennium start the oil exploitation, before oil exploration, and then they start to exploit oil in that there is this part of the Amazon, the red one, okay, where I present in this map the exploited oil blocks. I forgot to put in the map, next time I will put it, that this is also a very, this part of the Amazon, of the Ecuador, is very rich. Okay, but this, because of the oil expansion since the 72, we can find now what researchers called a petroleum scale, so a landscape modeled by oil activities. And here, so why we speak about, we can speak about climate justice or injustice, but also related to environmental or social injustice, because here, usually in these border territories, usually this kind of extraction activities leave social environmental impacts, and the richness usually is transferred outside. So here we are in front of a common type of environmental or climate injustice, okay? And here, urban expansion is intimately related to oil and extractive activities. So the idea of this work, okay. The idea of this work born on these premises to investigate the urban growth of the city, in this case of the city of Puerto Francisco de Orellana. This is the first study case that we took in Ecuador, but we want to expand the investigation. During the last about 40 years, both as build-up expansion and territorial dynamics. So to combine the what we see from the remote sensing, from the satellites, to the territorial dynamics and the interaction and relationship with oil activities and impact, okay? So we start to map this urban expansion. We start, in the next slide, we see the methodology. But the temporal range is between 84, 85, the first available Landsat images, Recently, we found also other kind of aerial images that we would like to use, that they date back to the 64, 65 or so. We would like to use also this information to map the urban expansion till 2020. But also, we want to investigate the spatial relationship between our infrastructure, social environmental impacts, and urban areas. Okay, so to connect all this kind of stuff in this petroleum scape, and to investigate the relationship between built-up expansion, socio-economic dynamics, and oil activities. Because as I presented in the other slide, they are intimately related. And to compare the result with other global and regional land use and land cover datasets. Okay. Here, this is the study area. The parochia is like an administrative level unit, the smallest one. And we are in the parochia Puerto Francisco de Orellana, better known as El Coca, an area about 145,000 square kilometers. Okay. And Coca is known also because it's the gate and the hub of the Auca oil road system, and a very complex and important oil road system that go down like from here, go inside the Amazon region in the south. Okay. So the data input we have before the oil activities, because the oil activities date back to the early 70s. And we found these aerial photos of 64, 65. So we want to see the situation in that time. These aerial photos have to be georeferenced. So this is a very hard work. And then we use the Landsat mission image collection, surface reflectance corrected. We use it by some script. We search and collected the images by Google Earth Engine, and mainly we use some kind of scripts to create like the collection of free cloud images for each year, because there are a lot of clouds. Basically, it's very hard to find one shot without clouds. Okay, so we to pass in this kind of scripts to try to find these scripts filter a period, okay, and try to find each pixel that is better is cloud free. Okay. And then we want to combine the urban expansion analyzed by remote sensing with a remote sensing approach, this remote sensing approach with sensors, data, and secondary spatial info. And if we are lucky, maybe with fieldwork activities. Let's see if we can go in Ecuador soon. And then to compare with other datasets as the GRC build-up layers, that are global data set produced by Joint Research Center of European Commission. Okay, this is the whole methodology. So there is the landscape the Landsat images here. Then we try with remote sensing indexes to create a normalized difference build-up index that is a sort of raster with values from -1 to +1, where +1 is are the pixels that are more the value is more similar to build-up areas, and -1 is other kind of land cover. We masked this first layer with NDVI and the WI and MBI that try to this index are used to try to extract the vegetation, water, and the bare soil. So we mask the NDBI, so the build-up index, with these three other indexes to try to create the raster of potential build-up that then we clean up with photo interpretation, with with our hands, because unluckily, usually the results are dirty, and so we have to clean it by editing the raster. We made it for the 2021 and then for the 84-85, because these are the first images that you can find in this area, first Landsat images that you can find this area for Landsat satellite, and then for 90, 2000, 2013, about 2013-14, and then 2020. Why 2013? Because there is a problem with Landsat 7. That is the satellite that covered between 2003 and 2013, and before the launch of Landsat 8, and it's not good to use that kind of satellite. And then, okay, we vectorize the raster, and then we now we are in the process to try to compare the result, to analyze the result also with other layers and with other information like census information, literature review, and so on. Here, the first preliminary result. So this is the area of built up in square kilometers. So we go from 1990, that the area was 3,000 square kilometers, to 2020 that we have now, well, almost now, 11,000 about 11,000 square kilometers in the study area of 145,000 kilometers. So we go from about 2% to 7.5% in 2020, with the most growth between 2000 and 2013. Okay, also as annual trend, plus 0.3%. Here, I want to show you also, because then we analyze this urban expansion, also measuring the percentage of built up in different cells in this fishnet of 250 meters per 250 meters. So you can see how the first build-up was built mainly near the river, and then 2000, 2013, 2020, it expands along mainly along roads, the road system that they built in that period. Here, the other preliminary result, the comparison between 1990 and 2020. So we can see that here in this color, in red, orange, and so on, we have more presence of build-up of 2020. And here in blue, we have more presence of build-up in 1990. We want to go more in deep in why in this area, mainly along the river, there are more build-up in 1990. Maybe because here river changed a lot. So we want to try also to analyze the change of rivers in this area to understand if it could be an explanation or maybe it's a mistake. Okay. And here also only a map that presents the relationship with oil activities and impact. So here we have the build-up in 2020 that is surrounded by gas flaring, by recorded oil spills, by wells, by pipelines, oil fields, and so on. So as you can see, Coca is surrounded by different oil activities and recorded impact. So conclusions. Okay, the build-up expanded almost 3.5 times between 1990 and 2020, mainly along rivers and the road system. And we saw that this is a city surrounded by oil activities impacts. In progress, so we want to compare and validate with other data sets, mainly the GRC data sets. We want to analyze the river change and the effect on build-up expansion. We want also to study in GIS environment the overland distance between the urban area and the oil activities and impacts, and the relationship between build-up expansion, socioeconomic and dynamics, and oil activities. Limitations of these studies is, as usual, the limitation of the spatial resolution of Landsat satellite. The difference also in sensors between the different Landsat missions. Also some problems because we had to clean a lot the results, because there are some problems with the spectral likeness, mainly with the spectral likeness between built-up and bare soil. And now we have to face on the difficulties to find historical and spatial data set, and we hope to go to make some fieldwork activities. Let's see if COVID let us to do it. Thank you for the attention.